Right now, though, and boy, things are moving fast in Wellington. Things are moving incredibly fast. People resigning, Steve Mahari gone, people resigning left, right and centre as they see a change in the wind. And an election result that delivered a clear mandate for change and for, in some cases, what might be called a reversal of a cultural revolution spearheaded by the Labor government, which put particular emphasis on gender diversity and on the Treaty of Waitangi and a certain interpretation of the Treaty in Waitangi. And kind of rainbow unicorns, I think would be the best way I could put it. I told you last Thursday I went to this bearing witness thing at the Israeli embassy, and I sat next to Paul Hunt. I asked him for comment or to come on the program on the Friday, and he wouldn't. He wouldn't. I don't know what was up, but he wouldn't. And he seemed very nervous, and something was up with him. Well, what was up with him was that he was for the high jump, and he hasn't been fired, Paul Hunt, the Human Rights Commissioner. And I do want to say this, Paul, I thank you for the times you did come on this program, though they were infrequent. He will not be reappointed come January after the new Minister of Justice, did not express confidence in him. Well, what is going on? We are joined now by that new Minister of Justice, Paul Goldsmith. Minister, welcome to the program. Congratulations on your appointment.
Oh, thank you. Much appreciated. I'm just walking outside the beehive at the moment, so there might be a bit of noise in the background, but
okay.
We're into it.
All right. Paul, was this a planned expression of no confidence? Did something prompt what has happened with Mr. Goldsmith? Did you have a list? These are the wokesters. Sorry, Mr. Hunt. Did you have a list? These are the wokesters we've got to get rid of.
No. It was just his term of appointment as the Commissioner of Human Rights is coming up in January, and so I just had a simple decision as to whether to reappoint him or to search for a new one, and it was my decision to search for a new one.
Did you have a discussion with him about this?
No, I haven't. But I will be catching up with him. He hasn't been around just this last couple of weeks.
He has. He was in Wellington on Thursday. I sat next to him at the Israeli embassy.
Yes, well, no, I haven't sat down with him,
okay.
But I just, no.
Okay. Can I ask you, the expression of no confidence on Friday, which of course, it's all over once your old minister does that. What prompted that?
Oh, look, I think it's... I don't want to be out begging people who have, made their contribution over the years. I just ultimately we want to see the Human Rights Commission focused on standing up for basic human rights that everybody needs and understands.
Do you want to see a Human Rights Commissioner who doesn't wear the keffiyeh, the national dress of Palestine, and the uniform of Hamas when standing next to the Governor General?
Well, I certainly want the Human Rights Commission focused on New Zealand issues and New Zealand human rights issues, and so that's around making sure that we're got a good understanding around free speech, free expression, equal citizenship, all those sorts of things, which are pretty basic.
Do you think the Human Rights Commission in recent years has morphed more into, if you like, a liberal or woke activist organisation rather than sticking to its knitting of human rights in New Zealand?
Well, I think it's certainly open to that accusation, and what I want to see is the Commission focused on, like I say, standing up for those core human rights, free speech, expression, freedom from discrimination, all those basic things which we signed up to in the UN Charter, and that's the clear direction I'll be giving the new Commissioner when we appoint them.
But it is my understanding it's also this government's intention to repudiate and there is a move to remove us from the provisions of the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. Is that correct?
Well, yes, we're going through that process. We're just making the point there that ultimately, there's a tension that develops between some of the elements of the UNDRIP requirements in terms of Indigenous people, and the need to ensure that we have equal voting rights, equal equality before the law and equal citizenship.
What's the time frame on the UNDRIP pullout?
I haven't got a specific time frame on that.
Are we going to abandon or modify our commitment to the United Nations Declaration on Human Rights?
Well, yeah, look, ultimately that's something that the Foreign Affairs Minister leads, and so it's appropriate for him to sort of be in charge of working out the timings of that.
But we are now. I'm not talking about UNDRIP. I'm talking about the Universal Declaration of Human Rights.
Are
we going to modify our attitude to that, or does that stay?
No, of course that stays. It's a fundamental part of how democracy works in this country.
Yeah. I have noticed, as have others in recent weeks, and a quite concerted social media campaign on a number of issues from the Human Rights Commission, including one that kind of suggested that golfers are responsible for homelessness in New Zealand. They appear to have spent or committed to spend an awful lot of public money, which is in the end the way they're funded, on what seemed to be quite overtly political campaigning. Will that stop under this government?
Well, I mean, our primary lever, of course, is the appointment of the Commissioner and the Race Relations Commissioner and the clear expectations that I have with them. We don't make the individual decisions about what the Commission itself does. But you can rest assured that I'll be appointing a new Commissioner who's focused on defending those core principles that we've talked about, and so that'll be my clear expectation.